fantasy playoffs this week, and there are still players available on the waiver wire that can come in and help your starting lineup right now. I'm not doing another ASMR video. You guys don't like that, but you actually should look to add these 5 guys before week 1 starts. I really hope you listened to me last week when we talked about getting ahead of fantasy defenses because the Carolina Panthers were on a bye. They were dropped, they were available, and they still may be, but this week they get the New Orleans Saints in week 1 of the fantasy playoffs. I want them in my defense spot. Isaiah Likely, who is available in 90% of leagues, had almost 100 yards and was a couple inches away from a touchdown the last time the Ravens played the Bengals. He is a borderline must start this week, and he's probably on your waiver wire. Trevor Lawrence is a guy who's been playing pretty well lately, but this week gets a Jets defense that plays a ton of man, which should allow for some explosive play opportunities for guys like Jacoby Myers, Brian Thomas Jr., who is healthy, and potentially Parker Washington if he's back. If you had a guy like Daniel Jones on your roster, or you're in a Superflex league, I love him as a streaming quote-unquote option this week. Last week, I told you to get ahead of Darren Waller because of his playoff schedule. To be honest with you, I'll stand on that, but I must have overlooked that Greg Dulcich is playing like 2020 Greg Dulcich. Yeah, he dominated the tight end room in terms of snaps, and this week gets a Pittsburgh Steelers defense that's really struggled over the middle, but also against tight ends. This is a sneaky ad. And finally, Ryan Flanoy. I will say this. I think he benefited from a Lions defense that has not been great against receivers. However, this week against the Minnesota Vikings team, if CeeDee Lamb does miss time, a lot of slot routes are going to be vacated, and this Vikings defense is very middle field open heavy. He should take some of those reps. I think he is a sneaky flex option in deeper leagues this week.